Hi, I'm Alex Lemin from 7th Hour Films, and today I'm going to be giving you a review of the newest comic book movie, X-Men Apocalypse. Okay, so the basic plot of X-Men Apocalypse is there's a new mutant in town named Apocalypse. Well, he's not really new, actually. He's the first mutant ever, and we see in the beginning his origins, kind of. It's not really his origins, but it shows in Egypt, like over 5,000 years ago. He was the pharaoh. So he was the pharaoh, and he was betrayed by some of his people. So he ended up going to sleep, basically, for 5,000 years. Until we get to 1983, which is where the movie, or when the movie takes place, excuse me. So, in 1983, we see that Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters is up and running. We see younger versions of Jean Grey and Scott Summers, who we've seen in other X-Men movies, and of course, we continue to see the younger versions of Charles Xavier, played by James McAvoy, Beast, played by Nicholas Hoult, Mystique, played by Jennifer Lawrence, and later on we see Magneto, who is once again played by Michael Fassbender. So basically, let me get through some things that I don't like about the movie. So, starting off, I didn't care for Mystique, honestly. Honestly, Mystique doesn't serve that much of a purpose to the plot. She informs Xavier that Magneto's been going through some tough times, and that's how Xavier learns of Apocalypse, because, this is not a spoiler, you can see it in the trailers, Apocalypse has 4 followers, the 4 horsemen of the Apocalypse, and one of his horsemen is Magneto. So yeah, other than that, and bringing in the younger version of Nightcrawler, I don't know who he's played by, I'm sorry. Use a name there. So, basically, that's really all Mystique has going for her. There are some things carried over from Days of Future Past, because a lot of mutants regard Mystique as a hero, but honestly, she doesn't do much. Honestly, Quicksilver has more of a story in this movie. So I don't know if, like, Jennifer Lawrence didn't want too much to do in this movie or what, but there's not entirely a purpose of Mystique. She's not annoying, she's not, forced, she's just there. Alright, that's honestly one of the only things I didn't like about this movie. So let's talk about some things that I did like. First off, Charles Xavier, Magneto, Beast, they're all still great characters, and they're still played amazingly by their actors. One character that I finally really started to like was Quicksilver, because in Days of Future Past, Quicksilver was there for a scene to, spoiler alert for Days of Future Past, to break Magneto out of the Pentagon. And that was his only purpose there, and he had this, great speed scene where they really showed off how fast he is and stuff. But that was it. He wasn't really in the film after that. And everyone, went crazy about Quicksilver. I just didn't care for him in that movie. He was fast, it was cool, but because he didn't have much of a story, I just didn't care. I like Quicksilver in Age of Ultron because he has a story. I like The Flash because he has a story. But in this movie, he does have a story, he does have conflict with other characters, and so it is good, and so yeah. So I did like Quicksilver in this movie. So one thing that I like, that I seem to be in a minority on, is I liked Apocalypse as a character. I'm not really getting a lot of the complaints about this guy. A lot of people say he's kind of too quiet and too reserved. Someone said he was too regal. But that makes total sense because he was a pharaoh. He was a king. You know, there's a line, it's like, you know, this is in the trailer, by the way. You know, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, well, he got that from the Bible. Or the Bible got it from him. So it's kind of like, well, he was regal because he was a king. I think he was regal, therefore kings are very regal and very, you know... So, I mean, there's that. But I really liked Apocalypse. Apocalypse really stood out kind of as a villain because he's kind of different from villains in the past. You know, if we just go off of the First Class trilogy, First Class, it was Kevin Bacon with powers. Kevin Bacon was good in that movie, but I look at him, he's still Kevin Bacon. That's not his fault, that's my stupid fault. So in Days of Future Past, there was Bolivar Trask, but he really wasn't a villain, he was just an antagonist. So now we have a clean-cut villain. Like, he wants to destroy the world, that's it. And he's pretty good. One of the things about him is that he has a lot of mutant powers, but he doesn't use them. Like he pretty much relies on his 4 horsemen, and I don't think that's spoilery. But if you wanted to see Apocalypse, you know, do a lot of fighting and action, there's not a lot of that. There is a climax, of course, with Apocalypse, but it's, I don't know. So overall, X-Men Apocalypse was a good movie. I think it is a worthy sequel to Days of Future Past, which is my favorite X-Men movie. And so it's not as good as Days of Future Past. Like, if I had to rank just the First Class trilogy, like, if Days of Future Past is, like, up here, then, like, just a little bit below that is X-Men Apocalypse, on the same level as First Class, if that makes any sense. So, yeah, I don't really like ratings for movies, you know, and I know it's just a weird thing to kind of bring up, but, so my rating system is, which I know I just said, I don't like ratings, and I'm like, here's my rating system, but it's like, I don't like general rating, like a lot of like the 9s and the 10s. I don't like numbers. I like Jeremy John's system of ratings. So he gave it, it's a good time, no alcohol required. I don't want to rip off his ratings, obviously, but that is kind of what I would give it. It is a good time. I had fun. Everyone says it's really long. It's really not long. It's a fine amount of length. I think it's 2 hours and 25 minutes, so it's perfectly fine. So my rating is, I like it. If you like the X-Men movies, you're gonna like this one, I think. You're gonna enjoy yourself. It's, even like people who didn't particularly care for it, they didn't hate it. So I think it's a good movie. You should go see it. You should probably, if you're going to watch a movie leading up to Apocalypse, you should watch First Class and Days of Future Past, because those 2 movies deal with the versions of the characters that you will see in Apocalypse. So yeah, so that's my rating. I like the movie, and yeah, so from all of us, which is one of us at 7th Hour Films, I'm Alex Lemin, and I will see you guys next time. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I know everyone hates hearing that, but it really helps me out, and I really appreciate it, which everyone's heard that too. Not the point. Goodbye.